Speaking of poison, Biden has taken a bold executive action to protect the most vulnerable among us from one of the true horrors of society. And of course, I'm talking about menthol cigarettes.
Yeah, I want to get your guys' take on this because I saw this and I thought this was the most blatantly like paternalistic, neoliberal, white savior racism that I've ever fucking seen, in a perfect way to obfuscate from doing anything fucking meaningful to actually assist this community. But go ahead and take the floor, guys.
I mean, my first thought was like, damn, Biden's trying to ban Swisher Sweets. Like, what is he doing? Like, we trying to, we trying to, like, it's so funny because the black community itself, like, they all came out and voted for Uncle Joe wearing aviator sunglasses, looking ice cream. We're supposed to be at the cookout. We're supposed to have our drinks, our barbecue. And here goes Uncle Joe trying to ban Swisher Sweets. So we can't even have a good time during a pandemic. And so instead of like, you know, helping people get health care, poor people, people of color, now he's trying to ban a substance that he believes we shouldn't have. And that's pretty messed up. I mean, even like when Biden got into office, he eliminated the only good thing Trump ever did, which was cap the price on insulin. And he got rid of that executive order. So that's the first thought that came to my head about what Biden did. I was very, very shocked.
It strikes me surprising as he's so concerned about the health of people, and black people especially use menthol cigarettes, but he doesn't want to give us universal health care. Yep. That tells you a lot about Biden. It's the fact that he is so concerned, with us smoking Newports than us, having Medicare for all.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it into the camera for anybody that's watching, okay? Especially those of you who are on Team Biden and you're black. Joe Biden does not give a shit about you. I'm going to repeat myself so that you guys can record this and then show this on your podcast and talk shit about me. Joe Biden does not give a shit about you. So the thing is that, and we know this, okay? This is the same guy that said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. This is the same guy that wrote the crime bill so that, your cousin who's still in prison under drug charges, because of Joe Biden. Yep. This is the same guy that your sister who still has who still has student loans. She can't claim bankruptcy on the student loans. Why? Because of Joe Biden. Yep. This is the same guy where maybe one of your uncles, he went to the war in Iraq, and who was one of the main people who pushed the war in Iraq? Joe Biden. So guess what? He doesn't give a shit about you.
And you know what else? You know what else pisses me off about this story is all these headlines reporting this. Banning menthol cigarettes is a racial justice. You know what else is a fucking racial justice issue? The illegality of cannabis. Joe Biden unilaterally took legalizing cannabis off of the Democratic Party platform when everyone else was on board. That would probably be considered definitely a racial justice issue, if not a fucking full-on crisis. I think we can all agree to that. So like you said, he definitely does not give a shit about black people. That's definitely not what this is about.
You just sprung that on me, and I just now see it. The reason why I'm laughing is that it is so laughable that the banning of menthol cigarettes is a racial justice issue. It's like, what in the hell have y'all been smoking? Like, are you serious right now? And it's stupid, because the thing is that he doesn't care about racial justice, because if he truly cared about racial justice, he actually would have put the candidate who actually had the most racial justice policies on their platform. But instead, he chose Kamala Harris. So, yeah, it's just keep going. I'm just going to laugh this off.
I also think that it's a little bit, looks like you're muted, Zach, or something. I was just going to say that it also seems like a little bit of an annoying issue from just a freedom perspective. Like, call me crazy, but I don't think that the government should be like, you can't smoke Swisher Sweets or Menthols, but go buy a 12-pack of Diet Coke or any kind of soda which has an ingredient list like a mile long full of names you can't even understand. Like, who's to say why isn't that banned? And I'm not saying it should be, because, it reminds me of like when Michael Bloomberg banned Big Gulps, which is also stupid. Like, people can make their own fucking decisions. I'm not necessarily saying it's a good thing to get kids hooked on fucking, soda or young adults hooked on cigarettes. Of course, there should be the proper, preventative information and like, all that shit so that people know what they're getting into before they just addict themselves to nicotine or sugar. But we do live in a supposedly free country, and I don't like the government being like, you can't do that. Like, I feel like I'm a child again, and my mom.
Yeah, it's exactly what it does. Is it tries to infantilize the entire black community by being like, oh, these people can't make their own fucking decisions, so we're gonna have to make it for them.
Well, it's like Biden said during the presidential debates. We don't know how to raise our own families. We need to be taught. Like, he literally said that in 2020. So that was pretty messed up. And what people need to know about these drug wars, especially with drugs going on right now, is that the government is only employed to protect corporate profits. Like, there's this whole stigma against weed, against mushrooms, all these like natural herbals, but you can go to the store and buy over-counter acetaminophen and ibuprofen and all these different type of pills, and they wouldn't think nothing about it. But if you go to the store and buy weed or you buy shrooms, then you can get thrown in jail.
Or get prescribed opiates that'll fucking kill you.
Exactly.
For the profit of big pharma. Like, it's crazy.
Purdue.
Yeah. No, it's truly hypocritical. And it reminds me of the whole the episode that occurred under the Trump administration, when just out of nowhere, seemingly everyone decided that for like 3 months we were going to talk about vapes and how we need to ban fucking vapes and what are they called? Juuls. You know what I'm saying? That was like a months long conversation. Meanwhile, there's real crises going on, like we mentioned, with healthcare, with the drug war, criminal justice, real shit that actually needs to be addressed. Meanwhile, the people in power are like, let's ban fucking vapes and fucking menthols and shit like that. Like, is this really what?
Well, it's obfuscatory politics, right? So they don't want to have to address any of this shit. We saw how Biden treated the black leaders on that phone call that was leaked to the public, right? They brought up the things that the entire fucking country had demanded after George Floyd was killed. We all took to the streets and we demanded very clearly, all of us collectively, defund the fucking police. When they asked him about that, he not only finger wagged to them, he disrespected them completely, brushed them off, scolded them, and then continued to pursue these fucking bullshit policies that are not what anybody fucking asked for. And there has to come a time where we draw a line in the sand and say, we didn't fucking ask for any of this shit, Joe. What the fuck? And I mean, we're obviously the people like us have long passed that, but I'm waiting for everybody else to wake the fuck up and say, why are you doing this shit, Joe? We don't care about this. Do something we fucking care about. But he doesn't have to, because everybody, as Gavin said, the squad keeps licking his fucking ass.
Yeah, exactly. And according to Harris, since you brought her up, she recently told us that Biden and his administration was too busy to legalize cannabis, with all this hard work they're doing. And so apparently they're too busy to handle legalizing cannabis, which again is a real criminal justice issue, a real criminal justice crisis. But they do have the time to sit around and talk about why we can't smoke menthols and swishers. This is the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard.